Hey, I'm up in Kansas City. I'm waiting for my flight. I went to the Immigration Service this morning, got a great result for a client who's been waiting for his citizenship for a really long time. But the purpose of this video is to talk about what I saw when I went to immigration court today. Uh, for those of you who don't know, our immigration court is in Kansas City, and anyone detained in about 3 different states ends up at the Kansas City Immigration Court, including people from St. Louis. So we have a client who is in detention at the Lincoln County Jail, and our judge is here in Kansas City. And although I had gotten permission to attend by telephone, I decided to stop in since I was going to be in Kansas City because we had a court date today. So what did I see? What happened? So my hearing was at 1 o'clock, and the way that it works is they bring the detainees in by video. They are not there live in court. They are here on a video hookup system with audio that can best be described as shabby. It's full of echoes. It's very hard to listen. It's hard to tell what's going on. But in any event, my case was just on a scheduling master calendar hearing, which means that it was just checking on status. We have a case where we're trying to keep a client from being deported back to Afghanistan, and the basis of our claim is that he came as a refugee and that there are special protections under the law that try to protect refugees and keep them from being deported. So what did I see when I was waiting? Well, there's a couple cases from the Pulaski County Jail. This is where immigration detainees are being held in St. Louis and outstate Missouri. We don't have an immigration detention facility. We just use county jails, and the federal government pays to house these people at the jails. So there's a case of a Bosnian man who lived in the United States for about 20 years, and he was on the docket ahead of us. And what occurred was really, really upsetting. I was sort of in physical pain watching what happened, and the judge was very well-meaning, but this fellow from Bosnia had committed a crime, and he thought that he was deportable, and the judge had asked him to fill out an asylum application and for withholding and cancellation of removal, which are some forms of relief. This guy did not have an attorney, and that's what led to the real problem, and that's what led to me being so worried about him today. Because if he came as a refugee from Bosnia, there are protections that are available to him that aren't available to most people seeking deportation. And despite this, the man, tired of sitting in jail, decided to take a final order of removal. And this was bad for lots of different reasons. One is it's much worse when you have a final order of removal than taking voluntary departure. But more importantly, he probably had defenses that were available to him for the deportation. And namely that because he came as a refugee, if the judge finds that it was in the interest of the United States or for family unity, the man could have been allowed to stay in the United States, but the man instead decided that sitting in jail was enough, that he no longer wanted to sit in jail, and therefore he threw in the towel and asked the judge to just order him deported. It was very troubling. It was all I could do to not get up and try to represent him, but he wasn't my client. So the lesson is that you do not want to go to immigration court without an attorney, even if it seems like a dire circumstance. This guy had defenses that seemed to be available to him. I don't know the ins and outs of his case, but based on what I saw in the interaction between the judge and the detainee, it certainly seemed like he had some form of result, some form of relief that were not made for him. Very upsetting, very sad, and I feel bad for him. But this is a lesson for everybody who's thinking about going to immigration by themselves. Don't do it. It's a really bad idea. And hopefully our client, who also came as a refugee, is going to be able to stay in the United States. We'll let you know our trial is going to be in mid-May. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Peace out.